Oh, hello. So full vinyl skins are possible with my stainless file, but there's some things that you'll need to do in Photoshop to make it work. So depending on your level of comfort, you just want to keep that in mind. So I thought I would just do a quick demonstration. So first I'm just grabbing just a quick image of some flowers as an example. If we wanted to cover this whole thing in flowers as if it was a vinyl skin, what we do is we go into the Smart Object layer and double click the left image to open up the Smart Object, and you get this. Now I'm going to hide the thing that's there. I'm going to make a new layer and paste in the flowers. And I would normally recommend upsizing like this, but this is just for purposes of this demonstration, so quality doesn't really matter. And then we hit save, close it, and you can't see it yet because I have some effects on this layer. Now, when you purchase the layer, depending on how I've saved it, this might look like this. It has a tiny little caret to the right, which you may or may not notice at first, but that's going to show what effects are on this. And whatever effects I have on the layer itself override anything that I put inside the Smart Object. So we'll open this up and we'll see what's in there. You can see that I have a color overlay, so we'll hide that effect. You could hide it just the color overlay by clicking the eye, or hide all the effects by clicking the eye next to the word effects. Since there's only one effect in there that's going to do the same thing, it's going to just hide it. Okay, so now we can see all of our flowers. So you could call this successfully done. If you needed to put then a design on top of that, you'd have to open this back up again. You'd have to stick the design in there and make edits to your design here, like make sure it's the right color already, or apply a color by using the effects down here. Like if we wanted to make this white, for example, and then you'd hit save again, and then that would show up there. But let's get rid of that for now. Keep it simple the way it was. Just going to hide it. Okay, so you could be done at this point. Notice that there's a little bit of blue showing down here because there's a color applied in the background. So we want to go down to where our colors are. And if we turn off that one, it looks like it's blank. So you want to go back up to this silver color and turn that one on. And then when you turn our Smart Object back on, if there's any bit peeking through, it is silver at least. You might not want a little bit peeking through, so you may need to go in and adjust the Smart Object layer to fix that. I actually think the problem is not the Smart Object layer. It is where I pasted in the design. I have something obscuring the bottom of my screen right now. I didn't realize I left a blank spot down here. So we'll just make the flowers a little bit taller. There. Okay. So now it's fine down at the bottom. Okay, so you could be done at this point. If you have a design where you leave like an empty silver area on it, you'll have to modify this yourself to make that happen, which not everybody is comfortable doing, because I built in some silver or some exposed stainless steel at the top and the bottom. You can't see them right here because they're underneath the Smart Object, but if I just drag these layers, this optional stainless steel top layer, if I drag it above, then it shows up. Same with the bottom. If I drag that above, it shows up. But if you want a little strip to show in the middle, they aren't going to look as shiny and bright as this. I did some extra things to make this happen. That one just needs to be scooted up a little. But it is possible as long as you have this stainless steel color on. If you go to the Smart Object layer with your flowers, oh, I forgot also on this layer, there's an opacity up here, which is 83%. So right now what you're seeing with the flowers is not 100%. So you may or may not want to make that 100%. So it's a little brighter. Okay, so that was just a little extra aside. But if you wanted to put a strip of stainless steel in the middle of this, you have to modify that mask. And you might not want to permanently modify this smart object layer the way I'm about to show you. So I would say you want to duplicate this layer first. So with that layer selected, if you go up into this flyout menu at the top here and you say duplicate layer, it's fine, we'll call it smart object copy, hide the old one. Okay, so then we're gonna mess around on the new one. Okay, so if you click on the mask itself, if you clicked on the thumbnail, there's little white lines around the corners showing that that's the thing that's selected. You want to click on the mask and those lines move over there. Then you go into your picture here and you have to draw around the area that you want to be revealing the stainless steel underneath. You want to use some sort of selection tool to cut that out. A lot of people like to use the lasso tool, which is kind of gives you a little help curving, but it also looks really janky. I'm going to hit deselect, which is Command D. I recommend the pen tool, which not everybody is comfortable using. But what I would do is I would go up to the ruler, drag down a guideline to show, okay, the top of the curve is going to be here. Looks like I have some old guidelines. Just ignore those. The bottom of the cutout is going to be here so that I know where to click for the corners. Otherwise, it's going to be all wonky. So I'll click in near the upper left corner. Then I click on the upper right corner while I'm still holding. I drag it out until it looks a little bit curved. Or maybe the curve is going up, whatever you feel looks more realistic for what actually happens on your cups. Hover over the square and hold Option so that the little symbol next to your pen tool turns into this little carrot. And then you click down to the bottom where we made our other mark, our other ruler line, and then you click over, I've let go of the mouse, you click over to the far left and hold, and then you curve that one a little bit too. Hover over the square, hold Option till it's a little carrot shape, click on that, let go, and then go up to the last point, and then you get a little circle icon that shows up next to your pen tool, which means you're completing like the shape. Click on it. Now you have your whole shape cut out. You want to turn that into a dotted marching ant selection. So you hit Option Enter on your keyboard. Oops, sorry, I meant Command Enter. And then I'm going to hide all my stuff for a second. So extras. Oh, it's guides I want to hide. So we go to show, we go to guides, and they're hidden. Okay, so we are in mid-process here. We've made a selection and we're on the mask. We want to fill that with black. So you see on the mask, everything that's white is revealed. That is the shape of the tumbler, and everything in black is hidden. That's the outside. So we want to fill that part with black. So it's gonna, the mask is gonna look like it has a black stripe in the middle of it. So you can just say Edit, Fill, and you can fill it with black. Or you could pick foreground color because that's black is already the foreground color. Okay, and then you can deselect by hitting Command D, and then you have a strip in the middle. So that's a modification you could make if you are designing like this. I know that was a lot of steps. I just want you to know that this is possible with my file. It's just going to require a little extra work from you inside of Photoshop. So you need to know if that's something you want to explore doing or not. So I hope this helps.